we'll get into the Prathamonuvaka or the first Anuvaka of the Chamaka Prashna. I gave an introduction to the Chamaka Prashna last week, so we'll now actually get into the mantra. If you look at the first two mantras, it says Om Agna Vishnu Sajoshase Ma Vardhanto Vangiraha Yumnairvaje Bhiragatam. Though we use the Chamaka Prashna universally at the end of the Rudravisheka, at the end of the Rudra Homa. We also use it for the Vasordhara in the Rudra Homa process. But there is no indication in the Chamaka Prashna itself that this is addressed to Shiva or any form of Rudra. But there are many reasons for this. One is it is traditional. As a matter of tradition, it has been added on to the Rudra. We can use the word Rudra in the puja, in the homa, etc. Second important reason is really for the sages there is no difference between the various names. Whether it is Rudra or Shiva or Vishnu or Agni, Ekam Sat, Vipraha Bahuda Bhavanti. There is only one reality, and therefore that also is not an issue. So then, if you look at this, it starts with a prayer for Agna Vishnu. And then we are invoking Agna Vishnu, so you can take this as an invocation mantra. So that means we invoke and invite for prayer two deities, Agni and Vishnu. In several of the Vedic rites, you will notice that we always invite and invoke the Devatas in pairs. For example, here it is Agni and Vishnu. It can be Mitra Varuna, and then we can also do the Ashwini Devatas when we are doing the worship, prayer and homa, etc. for the sake of good health. Or Indra Agni. So number of places you will see in the Vedic ritual, two deities are invoked at the same time. Just because you take one name before and another name after, it doesn't also mean any relative importance. That is, the first name is more important than the second. All those confusions should not be there in our mind. And one of the meditative aspects of this mantra is in every Anuvaka for the Chamaka Prashna, in your mind, you remember this mantra. So every Anuvaka before you chant, the meaning of this mantra must come into your awareness. So you can also say that Agni and Vishnu are the Devatas for this Chamaka Prashna, who bring all the boons that we ask for in the following prayers. Here is the word by word meaning. He Agna Vishnu, O Agni and Vishnu, Sajoshasau, both of you, bring to me and bear towards me an identical grace, love, goodwill. Sajosha means be evenly loving, graceful, blessing to us. So the grammatical form Sajosha Sau is to indicate dual number. Then, just because I started with Agni, it does not mean that Vishnu is any less or Vishnu is any second. Both are equally worshipful to me. That is why the prefix Sa, Sajosha Sau, along with. So both of you, Mam Imam Giraha, this prayerful words that are uttered by me, Vam Vardhantu, this prayer, may this grow and develop and blossom in your hearts all the blessings for me. So in other words, I invoke you, Agni and Vishnu, both of you please come towards me and please accept my prayer, and may my prayers bring enormous amount of growing grace and love and blessings for me, then how do I want you to come? Dyumnaihi, with lot of riches. Dyu or div means to shine. So what is it that shines? All the wealth shines. For example, if you have a large home, a very opulent palatial home, then whoever is going on the street will take a turn and look at you. Or if you have a very flashy and good car, they will look at you. That means it shines by itself and it draws the attention of people, the beholding people. So similarly, you bring me all those lots of riches, and vaje bhihi, vaja means anna. So we have also seen in the Kathopanishad study that vaja means anna. So that means such anna, that such vaja, please bring that which nourishes and enriches me. Now vaja is a very generic term. It means any consumable is vaja. Specifically food, but anything that will make your life better is vajaha. Agatam, you please come here. So we are asking with Agni and Vishnu to come here with all the riches, bring all the gifts and come to my home. How nice. So how can you ask the deities who are so powerful to come where we are? Isn't it proper that we should go? So why is it that the sage is saying you come here, Agatam? It is because you are omnipresent, you are powerful enough to travel all the three worlds, but my movement is limited. I cannot travel beyond a certain distance. I cannot travel beyond a particular plane, and therefore I cannot travel to your location, but I want to have you come and bring me all the riches, so you please come. Where? What is the inner meaning here? Come into my heart, come into my home, come into this Yajnashala. So we are invoking. So Agna Vishnu, please come here with all the riches and food and anna, and then may these words of my prayer provide you and grow your grace for me, and then in everything that I am going to ask in the next 10 anuvakas, please keep giving me. But for what purpose? Yajnena kalpatam, for the sake of worship only. So in this first anuvaka, these two mantras, you please think of this every time you are studying the following anuvakas, and every time you make a prayer. So that is the spirit. So in the first anuvaka, starting from Vajaschame, Prasavaschame, 36 desires are prayed for. So quite a list. Totally 119 favors we are going to ask. Is that correct number? Yeah. 100, huh?
We said 137.
100 something like that. So it's a lot of anything over 10 I cannot count. So
347.
347. So pretty long list. So all of them you bring to me. But I'm again counting and to make sure that whether all that number adds up, we will see. Then the mantra starts from Vajaschame. So why start with Anna? What is the purpose of that? Is, whenever you make a prayer, you ask for something that is most critical to you, isn't it? You don't wait for the very end to say, that is most critical for me. So because by the time you ask one or two, he'll say that, okay, the boons are over. And they will they disappear too, isn't it? Tasyaiva antardate. That's what they say in Sanskrit. They say tasyaiva antardate. There itself they disappeared. So we don't want that to happen. And therefore you ask the most important thing right up front. So you start with Anna, Vaja. Why you start with Anna? Because everything, all our actions, our very existence is possible only when we are well nourished. So the first and foremost requirement is that we must have nourishing good food. What kind of food? That which we are able to absorb that food which we are able to digest, and not only that, to develop an efficient body. You may remember, you have to tell me where you found it. Annena prana pranair balam balena.
This one,
Mahanarayana Upanishad, towards the end, we say that you give me anna, because from annena prana, from there I get the life force. Pranaihi balam, from there I get the strength. Like that we continue a whole series of developments just by having food. And therefore, Vajaha kalpatam, please grant me food. Then Vajaschame, the next one is Prasavaschame. Prasavaha means give me the ability to offer food to others, right? And then give me the ability to eat food also. And then you give me the capacity to know that a particular food is edible and good for me. That discrimination also. All this is embedded in one word, prasavaha. Then prayatihi means that which is pure, shuddham. So that which is pure, that which is edible, that which is nourishing, that which agrees with my constitution is called medhyam. This is outside of the text. That's why we have to have medhya, amedhya, vivekaha. Medhya means what should you eat and what should not be eaten. See, for example, when we are doing the puja, when we are worshipping, when we are doing yajna, or if you have taken for a particular lifestyle, then you say the meat is amedhyam. Then alcohol is amedhyam. So like that you can take vows. And many of us have actually done that. So what kind of food can be medhya or amedhya? And what kind of discrimination are we asking here? The prescription of the food for a particular individual is based on varna, ashrama, dharma, based on guna and karma. So what is your varna? What is your ashrama? And what kind of guna and karma that you are doing? Commensurate to that, we have got to ask for the medhya and amedhya. So elsewhere in the Upanishad also we are going to study, Chandogya Upanishad says, for those of you who would like to refer to that, it is in chapter 6. I think it is mantra 7. I'm a little not very clear in my memory. It's in chapter 6. Ahara shuddhau sattva siddhihi sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi. Ahara shuddhau sattva siddhihi. When your food is pure, your inner being is pure. When your inner being is pure, you will remember all the noble things that you have learned. Why is it we forget a lot of things? It is because there is no ahara shuddhi, there is no sattva shuddhi. Once we develop that, smritir labhe, when you get that, sarva granthinam vipramokshaha, all the knots that tie our personality down are all going to be loosened. This is the Upanishad Vakya. So, you will see in the Bhagavad Gita also. Do you see where? In the 17th chapter, you will see Krishna talking about the quality of the good food, medhya food. Ayuhu, sattvam, balaha, arogyam, sukha, priti vivardhanaha, rasya snigdha, sthiti hrudya, ahara sattvika priyaha. That is the verse. 17th chapter, verse number 8. So it talks about the kind of anna that we are going to pray for. So the prayati, so vajaschame, prasidhischame, prayatischame. The prayati, that is the purity, is not only external, but it is also internal. What does it mean? it means this food must have come by honest and upright means. That is also a very important. Then the food must have been cooked with a sattvic mind, number 2. And the cooking should not be done just for oneself. You must always cook something extra and share it with others. Otherwise, we have a mantra which you have heard that already. Kevala gho bhavati kevaladi. Where?
It must be in the Mahanarayana.
Rekha,
It's not familiar anyway.
Aruna Prashna. It is in the Aruna Prashna. Kevala.
That's the point. Yeah.
Kevala gho bhavati kevala.
mistake, Rekha.
It is in the Aruna. There is a very beautiful mantra in the Rig Veda. I'm sure you may not know because we have not done that in our class. And actually, this is also there in the somewhere probably we are going to study it in the Mahanyasa. Moghamannam vindate aprachetaha. This is from Rig Veda. Moghamannam vindate aprachetaha means food acquired by one who does not share it with anybody is a waste. That means he just prepares the food and eats himself. It is as good as having been wasted. Satyam bravimi vadha itsatasya. The Rishi is swearing and saying that I am telling you, if you cook for yourself and do not share it with any other, it is equal to suicide. You are going to commit suicide of yourself if you eat just for yourself. Naryamanam pushyati no sakhaya. This food is not only wasted, but it actually causes his death. Death means it is not the physical death, it is the psychological, the mental death. That means even if I cannot share my food with somebody else, what generosity can I cultivate? And therefore, one must have, when starts the feeling, this generous ability, this generosity quality by sharing food. Kevala gho bhavati kevala adhi. He who feeds neither the devatas nor the manushya's who are atiti abhyagatas, nor he offers it to the tiryak jantus, that is, nor he offers it to the bhutas, then for such a person he becomes sinful. So what kind of anna are we asking for? That which is free from all these sins. See, this was the ideal of our ancient rishis. In fact, I am sure many of you have seen, I have definitely seen, our families were actually poor, were very, very ordinary, not even middle class, probably lower middle class. But in our homes, then we never ever ate alone. There was always food which we gave to others, because they lived in that very high standards. So this is the ideal of the ancients. We have many, many people who are very famous for such annadana, anna satras. In fact, until about probably the beginning of the 19th century, in India, there were no, food was not sold. There were no restaurants. People would just, anybody, if they find somebody is hungry, they will just give the food to them. In fact, we were very soon after our marriage, we had gone to Palani, and we had got out of the, I think I have shared this story with you. We got out of the bus, we wanted to go to the temple. Probably we were married hardly 15 days, something like that. So, but somebody, an old couple were standing and they asked us to go to their house. They fed us and then they gave us clothes, dhoti and sari and whatnot. So that was the culture in those days. And so this, when we invoke, and the host must request all the guests to eat. It's another very important thing. So suppose you invite somebody to your house. We cannot just put all the spread on a table and then assume that your guests will eat. You have actually to tell them that please come have lunch, dinner, whatever. Not only that, the guest should at least once tell the host, please eat. You might have noticed that I do this all the time. I'll somehow I will have slipped in a word to the host saying, you please also eat. This is the Vedic culture. So neither the guest should eat without asking the host to eat. Not that the host will eat before you. Hostess. This is the common gender.
You should tell the hostess to eat, actually.
I always tell the hostess.
Because this is the Shastra. This is actually formalized in the Shraddha. So when we perform the Shraddha, after the entire ritual is over, the Brahmanas who have come for performing the ritual, the Shraddha, they are about to leave. When they are about to leave, the Karta, the person who is doing the Shraddha, he has to ask those Brahmanas, what should I do with the leftovers? Neither the householder can assume that he can eat, nor the Brahmana should assume he can eat. The Karta should ask for what should I do with the leftover food. And the Brahmana always says, who has come, you share that with your family and everybody who has come. There is a mantra for that. So you ask in a mantra and he responds in a mantra. So you can see how much importance has been given to this yajna buddhi. So when you say Vajascha me, Prasavascha me, Prasitischa me, Hey Agna Vishnu, give me this yajna buddhi. You will be thrilled when you are reading, when you study the Chamaka Prashna, how much of Dharma Shastra is there. So people will misunderstand that it's just a long list of what I want. So you will come to know how much Dharma we will be studying in this. So when all the above conditions are followed, that food which we eat will become medhyam. Otherwise it is amedhyam only. Prasiti, next is prasiti. Vajascha me, prasavascha me, prasitischa me. Prasiti means you must eat your food with relish. You must always appreciate, at least in your heart, because you cannot go on telling every day, your wife cooks for you, and then you eat, and then you say, oh, it's wonderful, it's very good. It will lose the same effect as people will say, I love you, call every day in the afternoon. So that becomes too mechanical. But that grateful attitude must be there inside. So when we say that prasitihi, you must eat with relish, it also means you should not blame or curse the food. You can always definitely say there is too much salt, there is less salt, it's too spicy. That is fine. But you should not say, what have you prepared and that? It is so horrible. Not even dog will eat. You have heard of all these stories. Annam nanendyat tadvratam. So this is called prasitihi. This is called prasitihi. Then dhitihi. So vajascha me, prasavascha me, prasitischa me, dhitischa me. Dhiti means the power to digest the food. You just imagine, psychologically, when your food has been acquired with such application of your spirituality, and when you have cooked the food with such an amount of devotion, and when you are offering it to devatas and your guests and also to your family, and then you are eating all the food with relish, such a food will be digested and you will be very, very happy with that eating. That's why we always say at the end of the eating the food, truptastaha, truptastaha, truptastaha. So why the dual number? Truptastaha, truptastaha, truptastaha is dual number. The reason is I, the jiva with the body, and the Paramatma that is in me, both of us are completely satiated. Because with Yajna Buddhi, you have actually brought the food, With yajna buddhi, you have eaten, and the food that you have eaten has become the naivedya for the Vaishvanara that is there in you. This is why we say, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritaha. When we study the Kathopanishad, I'll talk more about the concept of Vaishvanara. So then, how does one acquire food? Vajascha me, prasavascha me, prasitischa me, dhitischa me, kratuscha me. Kratu means yajna. So kratu is the yajna that causes the food to come to us. Just because we have gone earned some money, we can go to the grocery store and pick up anything. It has not happened. Somewhere, somehow, we have done the prayerful yajna, therefore that food will come to our table. Otherwise you won't get it. Even if you have all the plenty, there are times you may not be able to get any, even a cup of water you may not get. And therefore constantly there must be a kratu only. That is why Krishna says, Annad bhavati bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava. Chapter 3 of the Gita. Yajnad bhavati parjanyaha yajna karma samudbhavaha. Evam pravartitam chakram. This cycle that I have initiated, anybody who breaks this cycle, then that person is cursed. So you can see this is the source for Krishna's statements, where he has expanded the idea further. So how do we perform that kratu or the yajna in a very simple manner? We have a Arsheya Shloka. Arsheya Shloka means given by our rishis. Harir Data, Harir Bhokta, Harir Annam Prajapatihi, Harir Viprasharireshu, Bhunkte Bhojayate Harihi. So this was one of the prayers that we always said whenever at the time of eating. So when you do that, this Mahavishnu, Agna Vishnu. Mahavishnu is the one who brings this vaja, and Agni is the one who is digesting all the food. Therefore, Mahavishnu is the one who brings the riches. Agni is the one who makes you enjoy those riches. So, Agna Vishnu, please come to us. Then, this Mahavishnu, who is the Lord of the Yajna, is also the consumer of the Yajna Phala. That is Kratu. Kratu is where you perform the Yajna, and the Yajna has been accepted by Ishvara as complete. Then only it becomes a Kratu. Therefore, Krishna again says, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. So, on this Anuvaka, many statements on Anna that Krishna has spoken in the Gita provides us an insight as to how to understand. So, Agna Vishnu are invoked and praised. Come to me with all the riches and food. The food that ensures strength for the body, and the wealth that gives me comfort and security. The first critical requirement is the Anna has to be made as Medhyam. That will happen only when it is blessed by Agna Vishnu, and he will bless when we do that with Kratu or with Yajna. And for performing this Yajna, what is the know-how? How to know how to do this comes in the following mantras, where it says it happens through a properly articulated prayer. A perfectly articulated prayer is one which has got Swara, Shloka, Shrava, Shruti. So that is why what is the next set of mantras? Kratuscha me, Swarascha me, Shlokascha me, Shravascha me, Shrutischa me, Jyotischa me. So now it will tell us how we should pray. So you can see there is a very logical flow and a thread. And again, in the whole of the first Anuvaka, it is all relating to the Shariratraya. And this Shariratraya, we are asking for perfection. The reason is Shariram Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Without a perfect Sharira, no Dharma Sadhana is possible. Therefore, again, what is the central thread? It is for the sake of Dharma Sadhana, all these things have to be done. So, that is how the Chamaka Prashna also becomes a Dharma Shastra. So, we'll see more in the next class.